Hey everyone, so the title should be pretty self-explanatory. 5 things that the drugstore did better. I love drugstore makeup. I've always loved drugstore makeup. And one of the nice things about being on YouTube in the beauty space, as long as I have been, is that I've really seen an evolution of drugstore products. The availability of type, shades, different kinds of pigmentation, and the quality has just really gone up without the prices really fluctuating very much. And of course, I also absolutely love my drugstore products, my high-end products. I'm never going to be an or kind of person. It's going to be an and kind of thing. I love drugstore and I love department store. But I'm not going to buy a department store and assume it's better just because it's more expensive. Sometimes it's true, department store type makeup is better than drugstore, but many times drugstore is as good, if not better. So in today's video, I'm going to show you 5 products that the drugstore actually did better.
Hey friends, this is editing me popping in because I realized the day this video goes live is the day that icons can go shopping at Nordstrom. So have fun, all you icons out there. Let us know how it goes. And if you need any ideas or recommendations, don't forget, I have a ton of blog posts breaking down every single category, and I've added to it since the links first went live in July. So go give that a look. Linked up there and down there. Let's get back to the regularly scheduled video.
Let's start with what is on my, well, it's all on my face, but the foundation of my face, which is foundation. So a foundation that has gotten amazing reviews, and unfortunately I can't actually tell you how well it performs because despite numerous swatching when we were still allowed to do that, I could never find a shade that matched me. But based on all of the reviews I've read, seeing how it performed just on my hand, the first foundation we're going to talk about is the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation. It comes in 20 shades and it has an SPF of 45. Like I said, none of those 20 shades worked with my skin color at the time. So we're gonna juxtapose the Estee Lauder Futurist Foundation against a favorite I have been talking about for a long time, and I do feel a lot more comfortable talking about it. It is from L'Oreal, and it is their Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. This foundation comes in 40 shades. Obviously, it is significantly less expensive, and it has an SPF of 50. Aside from the similarities between the two, as far as they both have high SPF, they both come in a squeezy type tube. The Estee Lauder one has a pump at the end. This is just squeeze. I prefer, well, I have to say I prefer the L'Oreal because I can't even try the Estee Lauder. The shade range just does not work for me. You cannot beat 40 shades. It has a better SPF, and I really like this delivery system. I can choose exactly how much I want to squeeze out. The finish is beautiful. It is definitely radiant. So if you have oily skin, I don't think you're going to love this. You definitely have to powder this just to take down some of that dewiness. I find that it stays a long time. I find that it's buildable. The coverage is beautiful, but it doesn't feel heavy or cakey, especially right now during the hot summer months. It's just a great foundation. So I will reach for this over most department store foundations right now, and it's definitely better than the Estee Lauder comparable one. The next product I want to talk about is a bronzer. So for years, I have been raving about the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, and I still very much like it. You can see I very much like the highlighter side. Obviously, I've definitely hit pan there, and I really like the bronzer because it gives a luminosity and sheen to the skin without glitter or looking unnatural. However, I've also really enjoyed and been raving about the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronzing Powder. And I realized I'd never swatched them side by side. I finally did that, and I realized I actually like this one much better, which would explain why I've been only reaching for this and not really reaching for the Charlotte Tilbury version. So let me tell you a few reasons why the L'Oreal product is better. And no, this is not sponsored by L'Oreal, I promise, because there's another L'Oreal product coming up. Anyway, first of all, the L'Oreal version comes in 3 shade options: light, medium, and deep. This happens to be light. The Charlotte Tilbury one only comes in 2. One that I believe is called Fair Light, and the other one is medium dark or medium deep. So not a lot of shade options there. This one has better payoff. I don't want to say it's more pigmented, but It's creamier, it's softer. I feel like it's easier to work with. It's a lot more forgiving. I really kind of have to dig in here to get any color to come off. As you can see, I use these. I have no idea what device I forgot to turn off. I apologize. I use these at the same time, and yet there's really no dent in the bronzer because it's a harder surface. This bronzer is fabulous. If you like that natural sheen, you don't want a matte bronzer, I would definitely recommend this one. I like using this, any kind of bronzer that has this sort of finish. I like sort of doubling up and using more of a matte bronzer for contouring or just kind of like just a little more focused application, and then kind of go over all of it to diffuse it with one like this. Next, we're gonna talk about brows. I have been using some form of brow mascara before I started YouTube. I started with just the only option back in the day was the clear, I think it was CoverGirl or Maybelline, pretty sure it was CoverGirl, the clear, I don't even think it was matte brow gel, I think it was clear mascara. And that's what I would use to put my brows in place, because my brow hair, I could probably like put a round brush to it. The hairs grow and they move and they need to be put in their place. So for years, 15 years at least, I've been using something to fix them in place. And then the department store sort of caught on, and we started seeing like Anastasia Beverly Hills and Benefit Gimme Brow. And I'm gonna talk specifically about the Benefit Gimme Brow. I think it's lovely, it's great. But the brow mascara that I reach for every single day, almost without fail. The only time I will use a different brow mascara is if I'm just testing one out to see if there might be something better out there, or I'm doing like a brand focused video and I, want to use something from that brand. The one that I use every day, other than those exceptions, is from NYX. It is their tinted brow mascara, specifically in the shade Blonde. I cannot speak to the other shades, but what I really, really like about the NYX version is that I have darker brows than my fake blonde hair. And this can just lighten my brows a little bit to kind of take the edge off and make it blend more together. I have tried that blondish shade in almost every department store version you can think of, and it doesn't do that. This is the only one that does. It doesn't dry crunchy. It doesn't flake off. It's just the most perfect formula, and why more people are not raving about this, I do not understand. The brush is not oversized. It comes to a nice taper, but you see it up against the brow. It covers a lot of brow without having to be so skinny that you can't get into it. Like the one that comes to mind is the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Mascara. The wand is so thin and the bristles are so short, it can't get into the brow hairs and really get them where I need them to get. This is perfection. So hands down, better than any brow mascara I've ever tried. Actually, any other drugstore or high-end mascara, brow mascara is the NYX one. I apologize that the lighting is all over the place. I'm filming this earlier in the morning than usual, and I'm facing an eastern facing window and it is not cooperating. But the good news is we're not talking about shades and things like that, so that will not be a problem. Anyway, speaking of mascara, let's talk about a drugstore version that outperforms pretty much every other mascara I've ever tried. That is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara. I prefer it in the non-waterproof in, I think it's Blackest Black, whatever the darkest color is. I'm wearing it now. I'm wearing everything I've been talking about. I love this mascara. I do like a few department store mascaras, and they perform, I would say, as well as the L'Oreal one. But if you're comparing them side by side, if they're performing as well and one is significantly less expensive, go for the one that's less expensive. I hate to qualify everything, but I just want to state I'm always searching for that perfect mascara, and that's why you'll see in the description box different ones kind of rotate through, but the one I keep going back to and repurchasing over and over is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. I love it. And it is nice that it does come in a waterproof version. There are several colors, brown, black, deep black, and they also make an amazing lash primer from the same line. And then the very last product that I think the drugstore did far better than the department store is a product I've been talking about since the very beginning of my channel, and it is the Wet n Wild Single Eyeshadow in the shade Brulee. And obviously mine is well loved. Don't worry, I have several backups. Back when YouTube was really turning into something to watch, everyone talked about MAC eyeshadows, and specifically this guy. Let me pull it out of the palette. This one's vanilla, and then I also do have the actual brulee. And the reason why I have vanilla out is because vanilla is a little more pigmented than brulee and a little less stark white, but neither of these is anywhere near as good as the Wet n Wild version. This is more pigmented, it's a better shade, it's sort of in between the two of them. Depending on where you buy it, it ranges anywhere from like 99 cents to $2.99 and or $1.99 I think is the highest it goes. So $1 to $2, this is incredible. It does so much. Yes, it's great as a brow bone highlight. It's really good if you've extended your eyeshadow too far and you kind of want to blend that away like a makeup eraser. As long as this is your skin tone, I should say, it works great. It's great for laying down all over the lid to set primer or concealer. It is so useful. It's fabulous. And it is absolutely superior to any department store version I've tried, specifically the MAC single shadow. So those were my 5 products that I think the drugstore did absolutely better than the department store. I would love to hear from you. Do you have anything to add to that list? Now, these don't have to be dead on dupes. They just have to be some, maybe it's not even a specific product, but a category that you think drugstore does better. I would love to hear from you. Please leave those in the comments below, as well as any questions you might have. Thanks again for taking time out of your day to spend it with me. I hope you are all doing well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.